letting some people in. Welcome everybody. It is our weekly Dream Achievers Zoom call. I'm so happy you're here live or you're listening to the recording. Our topic today is Party Now. But before we get to that, and welcome to Bria and Elaine for joining us, we are going to talk victories. Who has a business-related victory, preferably, but if it's a personal one you want to share, that we're here for you too. Big or small, go. Shelly.
I've sponsored 2 this month.
Shelly, that is fantastic. So I'm sure the rest of us want to know how you do that.
One was just random. She, that is Jen. She had purchased, she was going to sign up under somebody else, and then that person must have gone inactive. Yep. And that person said, well, just join. And she said, no, I want to be under someone and be on a team. And she did some searching and I was in her area. So
hey, that's awesome, Shelly.
Yeah. And then Brenda's my newest, and we were actually on the same team together years ago under the same sponsor.
Yeah.
So
she's back.
She's back.
Yay. And Brenda's the one coming to lead Strong and Alec, right?
She is, yes.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations, Shelly. Keep going. You're on a roll because in December you sponsored 1 and now so far you've sponsored 2.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Thanks.
Congratulations. I know that's a hard one to pass, but we're not competitive with each other. We're just cheering each other on. So who's got a victory, big or small? Who else wants to share?
We promoted back to gold January 1st.
Yay, Lisa, that's awesome.
And we had a first line promotion with Ashley. So we're pretty excited as a team.
Congratulations, that is fantastic. Good for you. Good for you. Time for one more. Big or small? Those are 2 big ones. Anyone?
I had my first in-home tasting party since COVID, since I started basically this weekend.
Congratulations. Tell us about it. How did it go?
It was awesome. She had, I think 9 or 10 people, and she did some interesting stuff with the product. So she mixed some stuff together and thought of creative ways to use it rather than just serving it as suggested with the party food kit. And she ended up with over 700 in sales. So it was a great party.
That is fantastic, Bria. Good for you. That's a huge victory. In January, especially. Was there one thing that stood out to you on how her sales were so high? Was it any one thing or?
I had placed a personal order on her party a little bit earlier.
Sure.
And I needed to get like a party, that dip to dinner kit. So that was kind of a little boost because I wanted to show that at the party. But she ordered at least 3 or 4 extra products herself to use during her party. So that helped as well. And then every single guest ordered something. So
awesome. So you're still showing the dip to dinner, even though it's already past Christmas.
Yes, I did show it. We were supposed to have this party prior to Christmas, but had to reschedule. So I had it, so I still showed it.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, do you know if you sold any?
I didn't sell any of those, but I sold one of the 10 meal kits, and I don't usually sell meal kits, so I was super excited to sell that.
Well, congratulations. And
thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Okay, let's move on to announcements. I know you guys all know that you can print off the at a glance. I know when I got together with Sheila and Twyla and Amy years ago at the Caribou, I thought, oh, Sheila, you're so awesome. You're always printing this baby off. So what a fun reminder, because there's lots going on, is to print that off. It's a good reminder for you. I'm not going to go through everything. I think you guys did that a couple of Mondays ago, but is there any questions you may have on any of these great things going on this month? Anybody have a question on anything?
I just have something to add that they said today that there's still a lot of those totes available. So they haven't sold out of 1,000 of them yet. That's the
Good.
sales incentive.
I saw Stacy share it. I didn't get a chance to listen, but so is that what she said, Sheila? There's still, for the sales incentive, that's what she just said. There's still, they haven't reached the 1,000 mark or the,
Correct. Yep.
okay. So Bria, I'm sure you're getting it. If you're at 700 or so, so
Hey.
Bria said over 1,200 in sales for the month.
you got those. I mean, I don't know why they're so simple, but I thought they were stinking cute. And you know, who likes to use plastic? You know, like you can use those anywhere. So when I was in Florida or somewhere, I don't know, like in California, we don't have anybody in California here, but plastic bags are like illegal. So I'm sure that'll be all of us eventually. So thank you, Sheila, for sharing that. Anybody else want to share anything on there? Either to clarify or to ask a question? Twyla?
Do they say tastefully simple on them? I haven't got any of the bags, so do they say that? Because I was actually at a meeting and someone had a Labrie bag and someone said, oh, I've been looking for someone that does that. So I was wondering, do those have it marked so that when you're out and about?
It doesn't look like it, Twyla. I mean, if anything, they might have TS on the bottom part that's leather. But as far as the bag itself, I don't see Tastefully Simple on it. I don't know if anybody else.
I thought there was like a little tag or there's a little metal part somewhere that has TS on it. Yeah.
On the zipper, it has.
But not big enough for people to see if you're just carrying it.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But I mean, you could take a like something and write on there, Twyla.
Or get it embroidered.
Yeah, I was joking. That's a good idea, Katie.
I-
Who else said that, or Laura?
I use several from our so party to. I use the ones from Party Palooza, but
Yeah, good idea. Good idea. Well, good question. Okay, well, let's move on then, unless one more test. Is anything else? I mean, I'm really excited, and obviously Shelley has offered the $19.99, and I'm trying to think if anybody else here, but what a great offer. So let's offer that to everybody, right? On your in-home parties. Twyla and I were just on a call at 7 and we talked about that. So, and at the end, if I have time, we can talk about that as well. Okay, let's move to product knowledge, and forgive me, my goal this year is to be better organized, and I'm still not, but we'll get there. So the product knowledge is on the garlic parmesan wing sauce, and I didn't really take the time because I took more time to work on my presentation. But does anybody, you know, this is going to be in the spring summer catalog, right? We've had it before, and the reason that we stopped carrying it is because the vendor went out of business. So we don't necessarily tell that to our clients, but we just say new and improved. Who loves this? Who is passionate about it? Anyone? No one?
I've sold 3 already.
Who said that?
Me, Bria.
Oh, sorry, I
So-
couldn't, yeah, I was looking up at the top. Oh, how'd you sell them, Bria?
My host bought 2 and she looked online because she said, if it's not in the catalog, but it's online, can we still buy it? And I said, yeah.
Yep.
And she got 2 of those. And then one of my friends who's a regular customer also placed an order and she bought one to try.
And did they say how, were they gonna use it on chicken wings? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. They didn't say.
Okay, that's great. So it's gluten-free. But it is great on wings. It talks about a sandwich spread. I know my assistant's husband, Scott, really loved it. I'll have to ask Jane. I think they used it for wings. But anybody else want to add anything on the why our people need the garlic parmesan wing sauce?
Jane had mentioned that with the new company that's making it, that they were able to make it gluten-free, reduced the fat in it, I believe. And there's one other thing. It's really low calorie, I think. One thing that has come up is Jane had said that there's no sugar in it, which if you look at the label, there is sugar, but it's way down low. So there's not a lot of sugar in it.
All right. As far as calorie content, it is low, 20 calories for 2 tablespoons. And if I recall, it's considered medium heat. So I don't know that you even necessarily use 2 tablespoons, right? But yeah, so good point. Okay.
We put it
Oh.
on nachos last night and I am a spice wimp, but I don't think this is as spicy as it used to be. Now, it might be because it was with cheese and the ranch dressing, but I don't, and Jane said that some people thought it was hotter, but I
Oh,
don't think it's as hot, so.
good to
It
know,
must have-
Lisa.
Those
Yeah.
nachos look so good.
I know. I
They
thought
were.
yeah, they looked really good. Was that your own recipe, Lisa, or was that the one that's online? Or
No, it's on the website.
okay, well, there you go. Let's use that recipe Lisa used and make it with the garlic Parmesan wing sauce. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the topic that I am super passionate about, and it's called Book Now. So we're going to start with a song, and forgive me, I'm like so old fashioned. I just want you to listen to this for a second, and if you want to dance, you can. Okay, come on. Okay, that's our signature song. It's funny, Angie, I probably should have taken time because up on the top, can you see that? Set up professional audio and audio settings. I probably somehow could have pushed that through Zoom, so I apologize if that blew your ears off. But the concept is the We Like to Party song, right? So I had to start out with that. So, okay. So I've got, and I know none of this is new for you, but sometimes we need to hear it again. So let's start out. When I say party, I'm referring to in-person parties or online parties, okay? You do what you do. I do a little bit of both. I'm not judging, but when I say party, that means in-person or online, okay? So number 1, let's revisit your why. What is your why with Tastefully Simple? And that can change. And shame on me, I was visiting with a gal today that signed up a couple months ago. Her name is Amber, and she's doing really well. And I looked in her folder, and I'm like, I don't even know what her why is. So I asked her, and it was to make extra money. So then the next time we talk, because we haven't talked for a while, I will go a bit farther and say, I don't want to blow her hair off, but you shared with me you want to make extra money. Let's talk about that. How much extra? And we're talking weekly, so I know she wants to move the needle forward. So what's your why with Tastefully Simple? And then it's not a 4-letter word, but what's your goal? And I'm always sad when people say, I'm going to see what happens. I'm sure you've said that, or you've heard team members say that. And you know why people say that? Why do you think people say that? I'm going to see what happens. I'm
Why
asking
they don't fail.
100%, Angie.
Mhm.
It's an easy way, like they want it, but they're not sure exactly how to do it. And they certainly don't want to tell you this is what they're going to do. So we'll see what happens. It's a really safe ground to be in. So I invite you with yourself and with your team, what's your why and what's your goal? And I'm not saying it doesn't necessarily have to be the goal for the year. I think most of us here on this call do have perhaps yearly goals, but what's your goal for January? What's your goal for February? And I always have a party goal. You may have a sales goal. There's no right or wrong, you guys. But if you don't have a goal and what you want to do each month, I mean, that's okay. If that's not where you want to be, if you're just like, you know what, I'm going to see what happens, and you're okay with that, then I don't want to make you feel bad, okay? I'm just telling you what I see in successful consultants, and what I see with myself is I have a goal. So when I look at my February calendar and I see I have one party on the calendar, perhaps that's true right now, that's not acceptable to me. So I got to push through all those feelings of like, I don't like to do this. I don't want to do this. I got to push through that too, just like the rest of you. So because I have a goal, I'm gonna make that happen. So what's your why and set a goal? Number 2 is I'm gonna invite you to change your channel. And let's talk about not what I have to do, but what I want to do. Do you ever find yourself saying, oh my gosh, I gotta book more parties. Oh my gosh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And when you gotta do something, it's not as fun as I want to do something. So Angie's gonna help me here. We're just gonna talk, and if you've ever been to meetings, and some of you have way back when, I'd have a flip chart and we'd say, you know, why do we want to have a party right now? Why do hosts want to have a party in January, February? So I'm asking you that, and I want to share some ideas. I want you to share some ideas. So why does someone want to have a Tastefully Simple party? And again, I'm referring to in person or online. What are some
Sherry,
reasons?
do you want me to, oh, sorry. Do you want me to share my screen or not?
Yeah. Oh, do I have to make you host?
Nope, I can.
Okay. So I have that wonderful Angie who's gonna take.
But I
notes.
put the
Why is now-
wrong
yeah, no,
title.
why is now a good time to host a Tastefully Simple party? Who wants to share? I'm not gonna share. I want you guys to share. Please.
Because it's winter and people are generally less busy, maybe.
Yeah.
Great host incentive for January.
Or double the extra host rewards.
Mhm.
Double value host special. So a double value host special. What else?
People are looking for healthy options in
Right?
January.
Healthy options. Yep. Good. What else?
This isn't necessarily for January, but I've gotten people, like I had a lady say that she wanted to wait until springtime to host. And I was like, well, we might want to do it a little bit earlier so you can double dip into the new catalog. A lot of people like to do that. So that's not necessarily for this month, but like booking ahead, that's helpful to know.
Yep, that's fine, Laura. That's a great. So just to remind you all, double dipping would be February 6th through probably the 18th. I mean, there's no guarantee, maybe the 20th might be the whole month of February, but I would say starting on February 6th for those 2 weeks, we can double dip. So great point. So yeah, we can talk January, February. What else? Why would someone want to host a Tastefully Simple party in January, February? There's a couple other really obvious ones we haven't said yet.
They're looking for new recipes because you're stuck in the house.
Yeah, new recipes, great idea.
Super Bowl party.
Super Bowl party. Dang, the Vikings, I was so hoping.
It's a great option for the join incentive to host a party and then just work into joining.
Sure. How
I
about,
couldn't think of the word, but like I still can't think of the word. I thought I had it, but I don't. But like using that as a launch party, I guess.
yeah, good idea. How about a free shopping spree? I mean, don't underestimate, you know, the fact that they can get a free shopping spree. And those half price items, like we don't even get 50% and free shipping, right? I mean, yeah, those of us that pick it up can get free shipping, but I don't get 50%. Anybody else get 50%? You know, so don't ever underestimate that free shopping spree. I mean, promote it. What else? This is a great list, by the way. Anything else? How about just a fun night out? I mean, don't underestimate that either. I mean, when you're doing in-home parties, and Bria can probably attest to that. Like, I bet they were having fun, right?
They were so chatty. It took me a while to get through my presentation. Which was good. It was a good thing. And then they stayed after and ate some more and had another cocktail and they had a great time.
Oh, I love it. And when people tell me, oh, nobody wants to do in-home parties anymore, I just, depending on who it is, I may smile and move on. But if it's a team member or someone I care about, I say, well, do people still go out to eat? Yeah. Do people still decorate their homes? Yeah. People still love to have people over. So, yeah, and it's food, you guys. Who doesn't like to eat and drink? So, fun night out. Are we missing anything else? Can anybody think of anything else? Those were some of the things I wrote down. Okay, so Angie, if you could save that and then we'll post it on the team page on why now is a good time to host a Tastefully Simple party. And, you know, back when I coached with Sue Rush, she would be like, you can do this every month. You know, there's always a reason for a host to have a Tastefully Simple party. As you know, every month can be a great month. But I really wanted to do this exercise to remind you, thanks again, Angie, it's really about them, you know, like get over yourself. Think about what you're offering and you can make a difference in people's lives. I know you're like, really? But it's true. You know, they can have fun and they can get free product and they can get together with their friends. Okay. So we talked about why, we talked about the goal, we talked about changing the channel, we talked about why now. Let's talk a little bit about how to book parties. Okay. I will remind you that we've got that Frank E-list. I don't know if any of you use that. And can you share the screen and go to, or I can do it too, and go to My HQ. They really have, do you want me to do it, Angie, or can you do it? You want me to do it? You got it. Go to Tastefully Simple. As I was preparing for this today, I noticed that they've really, if you go to training and support and go to sell, click on, I think, it talks about your mindset. It talks about it works, improving your sales results. These are just some of the things that we talked about. But I think on here is also where you find that Frankie list. And I had training and support, sell, parties and overview and booking. It's there somewhere. Is it right? Overview. Well, either way,
I'll find
it's on there. So, but basically, Frankie list again is friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kid connection, and events. And just
Go
to
to
remind you,
parties overview, Angie.
Okay.
Within cell, the parties overview gadget. No, back. So next to this,
Yeah.
you might have to go back to
you
gadgets.
gotta go back
Okay.
to it.
Next to
Yeah.
the cell gadget, there right to the right, there's the parties overview.
Click on
I
that.
bet you it's in there. And then like bookings.
There it is.
There
Or-
it is.
yeah.
So there's, oh, thank you, Laura. So there's the Frank E list. And you can either use that, that's a great place to be organized, or you can make your own. Some of the tools, and we'll get back to that Frankie list, but you can go at it if you want, Angie. Would be when I'm like taking the time to book parties, either over the phone or private message or text, is I always have the tools handy. And the tools to me would be the January host incentive, the February host incentive, and then also I think our client specials are pretty dang good. You know, seasoned salt for $5, that's $10.99 normally. And I think is it the classy chocolate pound cake for $5 for February, right? So I have those as my tools, whether I'm private messaging and I send that or I text and I send it. Then your list. So the Frankie list doesn't have a number on it, but sometimes you'll find newer consultants or perhaps even yourself say, yep, I'm going to book some parties. And okay, go for it. And then I call them the next day or I text them and I say, how did it go? Nobody wants to do a party. And then I say, well, Katrina or Alice or Lisa, how many did you reach out to? And a lot of times their answer is like 2 or 6. So I encourage them and say that's a good start, but you really need to think of like 30 people. So when I was in Florida, my calendar wasn't where it needed to be. I reached out to 20 people and I did private message because it was during the day. And these are past hosts or people I thought, oh, she needs to have a party, right? Out of 20 people, now I'm just sharing with you my results. I booked 1 for January and 2 for February. Now, those were the people that got back to me. Now, I know a lot of you have heard my rule, 3 strikes and you're out. Does anybody remember that rule that I have?
Mhm.
Now, Twyla knows I don't say that to the person. Like, Angie, you're, whatever. No, but I've always used that rule. So it's called follow-up. So those 20 people, 3 got back to me and maybe a couple others said, no, thank you. I can't remember, but I'm going to go back and look at my list, and I should have done it last week, but I didn't. And the second time, because haven't you ever got a private message and you looked at it and you didn't respond? Does that
Mhm.
happen to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it has. So as a leader, as a consultant, I'm going to say, hey, Ange, just looping back. Just wondering if you, wanted to take advantage of that fun incentive for January, February. What do you think? And then I could even wait a couple more days and say, hey, I don't mean to bug you. I've used that, but I'd love to include you. And if they don't answer, there's the 3 strikes. They're out for now. And will I reach back to them eventually? Of course. I mean, don't you find that a lot of times it's timing?
Mhm.
So, but you have to do that. I've done that for years when it used to be only the phone call. You guys remember when that was the only way we could get a hold of people? I'd call Monday night, maybe Wednesday night, and maybe Saturday. And again, you're just offering, no, it's fine. And they don't pick up the phone. Sure, of course that happens. But that's how you're going to get people. Okay. That's just called customer service and being a good consultant. Okay. So any questions on that? And like I said, this is not rocket science. I know you've heard me talk about this. So the next step, which is step 5, is when are you going to do this? Because we're all busy, right? I know you're all busy. I'm busy. We're all busy. So you need to grab that calendar and schedule time to do this. Remember I said I was in Florida and I think I had 10 to 12. I said, Pete, I'm going to work. You go do your thing. And, so you look at your calendar and maybe you have 15 minutes, maybe you break it down and I'm going to do 15 minutes here, then I'm going to do 15 minutes there. But if you don't write it down, like you write down your dentist appointment, you write down your eye appointment, you write down whatever, and you go. So you be true to yourself and do the same thing. Does that make sense? I'm at 8:30. Any questions? Or 8:28, I guess. Any questions? Before we hang up, guess what we're going to do again? I had to do it, you guys. Look at, I'm like red faced because I'm embarrassed. Anyway, a lot of it, you guys, I see successful consultants all the time, and it's really up here, right? I mean, yeah, you need to take action, but it's that value that you're sharing with other people, and really it's your job. Don't be embarrassed. But, it's our job to find the people that want to party, whether it's in person or online. I promise you, all of you, it's out there. You just need to go find it, okay? If you need help on what to say, just private message me, okay? I'd be happy to share with you what I say. And I'm not saying what I do is like science or the right thing, but it does seem to work, okay? So I'm really happy you joined us. Angie, thank you for taking notes for me. I will get that figured out here eventually. I'm really excited that next Monday night, which is the 23rd of January, I can't believe today's actually the 16th, because our very own Lisa Burns is going to talk about social media. So I'm excited to hear tips. And you know what? If you have a question, Jane, my assistant, will promote it tomorrow on the team page. But if you're like, I want to know about this, well, help Lisa out after that question on that thread, okay? So that way she can answer your question. Sound good? All right, you guys. If you haven't, I'm just going to do one more plug. If you haven't registered for Lead Strong yet, you still have the opportunity to watch it virtually. It's $49. There's still time for any of you that want to join us in Alexandria, and I think Lisa Burns and Lisa Miller Rebecca's not on tonight, but I know they're doing a gathering in Sioux Falls. Perhaps Katie's going to that. And so anyway, good to see everybody. A couple of us are going to hang on for a little bit because we're going to talk about Leap Strong and Alexandria, but it's so good to see your smiling faces. I better stop the recording.